Hey everybody, Thursday afternoon, welcome back for the last shop update of the month of November. So there you are. We're gonna get started today. It's not a competition or a race, but Steve started on a project just recently and is a little farther along on his than Mark is on his. So we'll check in on Steve first here on his new project.
Well, let's talk about the old project. If you tuned in last Thursday, we have the Workbench sidekick. I got that all done. We got some wheels on it. Got the cabinet made, European hinges. We painted it orange and then lacquered over it. Solid maple top, 18 by 44. Got a little router shelf here, 3 drawers. And then these, they just call them these little cubbies for small bottles of glue or what have you. So that's done. That'll be shop notes.
Yeah.
So then my new project is a little memory box for Woodsmith. I just started this morning, so solid walnut, although I am using plywood for the top here. But I had to use a solid panel for the bottom because it's got this little groove that the bottom of the drawer will hook into, so if you pick it up and move it like that, the drawer won't fall out. So it's kind of neat. And the top is going to have a, we're going to do that on the table saw, where you run it at an angle over the blade to kind of cove it out. Mm-hmm. And then miter it, and then either put glass or plexiglass in, clear cover in the middle. That's what I got.
Yep.
All right. We'll get our semi-weekly Nicholas feast here by being able to check in on Chris in the CNC room.
He just had cookies. So
Oh, here we are. Come on in. Okay, well, and there's Nicholas, the official mascot. So I wanted to show you a couple things I've been playing around with. First off, you saw Mark making our new CNC machine, so I've been kind of getting wired up, putting it through its paces, and it's been fun to see it move. So next time, hopefully I'll have some finished product for you to take a look at. Also, in the tech world, we've been thinking a lot recently about 3D printing, and that may sound a little bit way out there, but a lot of little parts and things, repair parts, new parts, can be 3D printed if you have one, because wood is great, but it's kind of bulky and a little hard to use sometimes. So one thing I've been printing out are these little cams, and this was actually part of our CNC, and it's used to adjust the tension on some of the V-bearings on the track. And this was a wooden dowel, and this is half-inch plywood. You can see it right here. That's what this is. A couple of our old machines have a 1/4 inch top, and I was having a little trouble with the bond between the dowel and the 1/4 inch, so I thought, hey, I'll just 3D print some. That's easy and it's going to last. So it's been kind of a fun experiment to do. And here's my little 3D printer. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is what other products, what other items would work well. And I think repair parts, I'd like to mess around a little bit with poles for furniture. Maybe back plates. You know, there's a lot of good finishes that you can apply to plastics, just like you would with any other material. Another fun item is that this is a plastic filament, but this filament here has wood fiber in it, and it's kind of fuzzy, and it's kind of interesting, and it's supposedly you can paint this and sand it and stain it. So my thought with using a wood infused filament is, wouldn't it be fun to create some small ornaments for a piece? Places like Van Dyke's and some of the other companies used to always sell, they look like linoleum base, wood flour and linseed oil that's heated up and molded into various shapes, and you could apply them to your work, particularly for a kind of Victorian era furniture. And I'm thinking this might be the same sort of thing. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try printing out some different floral patterns and see if they might be a little accessory for the right kind of furniture piece. Might be fun. So that's what's going on. And then we've been doing a lot of work for Next Wave Automation with their product line. And one thing I've been fooling around with this morning is what they call a shark tooth. And it's just it's a drag for a magic marker. or a pencil or a pen. And so you treat this just like any other pattern that you would cut out with the router. The router, of course, is not turned on, thank goodness, and the machine will follow the profile that you set up in the toolpath. So I just, for the sake of having something to work with, I pulled out this file, which was a small brass piece, or copper rather, in an arts and crafts box that was inlaid. And so I just set some different parameters and tried it. And I think what's kind of exciting about this is I keep thinking, what if I wanted to relief carve a big sign? I could put in a pencil or a marker and basically have the machine go ahead and draw my pattern for me. If it's fairly complex, if it's something that I've downloaded, that would be neat. Also, be good for signage. You know, like I said, any kind of pattern making. I think there's probably a lot more things that I'm not thinking of that this shark tooth will work with. To just help, you know, another tool to help me be more expedient and better with my woodworking. So that's what I've been up to.
Cool. I'll see you later, Nicholas.
Hello everyone. So the last couple of weeks I've been working on the Chris Fish design Hoosier cabinet. So I've got plans for the first half of this cabinet. So I'm working on the base. This is solid hickory. So this consists of 3 drawers and a door. Once this base is finished, I'll be working on the top piece. So a Hoosier cabinet was traditionally used for a kitchen piece of furniture to house kitchen, small appliances and all the kitchen utensils that you possibly need. So in here there's going to be got a few shelves, and there's going to be a slide out shelf to house a kitchen mixer, processor, air fryer, whatever you have in the kitchen. Then obviously some drawers for utensils. So I'll get this wrapped up this week and then work on the upper part of the cabinet next week. So moving on.
Alright, hello everybody. So first things first, currently I'm working on a prototype chair for a dining table. I did, well, I've lost track of time. It was within the last few issues, but it was a round dining table. It had the trivet in the center that flipped over so you could have just a traditional tabletop. Otherwise it had a ceramic tile insert. So we wanted to do companion chairs for that. So basically I'm just building a scale prototype of the chair, work out any sort of mechanical issue, or excuse me, work out the proportions. Everybody's body shape is different, so we want to make sure that this thing is comfortable. Really, I'm trying to figure out height here, depth of the seat, and then really where the back of the seat hits the back. So that's why it's important, especially with chairs, to build scale prototypes. Again, you kind of work through those things. You can't always see them with a computer. So I'm just using some Poplar. I'm going to build a full scale one of those. Why don't we move into the photo studio and talk about some of the other things that are going on. So Chris Fitch may have talked about the laser pecker laser engraver that we got. It is a new tool to us. We've kind of been experimenting with. Chris was working with a lot of different materials. You can engrave wood, acrylics. You can work on metals. I'm currently working with leather. I did a tool tote for an upcoming issue of Woodsmith. Actually, let me grab that real quick. Somewhat of a visual, because I can't remember if we looked at this. So I designed this leather tool tote for Woodsmith. There are a couple different things going on here. You have 2 parts. The initial inspiration with this was a baseball and how a baseball comes together. And so the 2 short sides in the top is one piece, and then the 2 long sides in the bottom is one piece, and they kind of overlap. And then I've got a seam that runs the edge there. And so I kind of wanted to personalize a little bit, and since we had this at our disposal, I've been messing around with just typeface and kind of learning the machine a little bit. But I've been creating these monograms to go on the bags, again, to kind of just further personalize the project a little bit. Now this doesn't have to be specific to leatherwork. Like I said, there's various materials you can use. There's different intensities. There's a lot of things you can do. And really, like any computer program, it's just kind of getting familiar with all of the features that it has. It's actually rather intuitive and very easy to use. So again, that's kind of a nice resource that we have that we'll continue to use and work through and kind of explore the options it has and how those can be used within the further discipline of woodworking. And so as we expand on laser cutters and of course the CNC and all these kind of newer technologies, we'll kind of continue to integrate those into our projects. So those are the two main ones right now. I've got a couple other projects that are in the works. Another thing I'm working on outside of work is doing another commission piece. I'm working on these display pieces for a couple friends of mine. I've got some shelves, 4 just kind of cube displays, and then there's this circular display table that goes in the center. But working on the material I like a lot, Baltic birch plywood, and so again, a very modern, clean look, very easy to use. A lot of the tools I've been using so far is really just a track saw, so it's nice to kind of be able to just bring the tool to the piece, have nothing very overly complicated or unnecessarily complicated about it. But that's all I really have for show and tell. This time next week, we'll have a couple more things going on, moving into the next issues, and we'll take a look at those projects.
Thanks everybody for joining us for the shop update today. Join us next week where we'll answer such questions as, can Mark catch up with Steve? And what's the top of the Hoosier cabinet going to look like? So you want to tune in for that. We'll see you next Thursday, everybody. Bye.